They are bold, daring, meticulously crafted. They are inspired works of functional art, and you won't find them at IKEA.
Fearless Furniture, the exhibit, is about traditional and contemporary fine art furniture made by artists that have a connection to the state of Indiana.
When I look at a piece of contemporary furniture that has been produced in a traditional style, I see an encyclopedia brought alive in 3 dimensions. Not only am I seeing the wood, but I'm seeing centuries of craft skill.
We have these pieces that some of them you'll look at and they immediately say they're daring, they're bold, they're dramatic, they're impressive. But then there's also that sense that somebody, a person, had to make this by hand, and many of them have committed their entire lives to this.
Furniture making is hard, but it's a good hard. I've never been so frustrated as in the studio, and that frustration has never made me want to go back to something so quickly.
Inspiration can be a fickle muse and comes sometimes when you least expect it. Nancy's inspiration sprung from a piece of furniture built in a factory over 50 years ago.
When I began to do some research into the Showers Company, I realized, there's all kinds of interesting stuff here, and I loved that they were one of Bloomington's biggest employers for many, many decades, and they shipped their wares all over the country, and many of their pieces weren't even marked with their name. So they were anonymous pieces that people were proud to own and use, and I love that because it gets to the heart of what, to me, a piece of furniture is, and that is a piece to be used. I decided that I would build this crazy over-the-top thing according to my own best principles, rather than according to the methods that were used to make the original pieces in this genre. My piece is entirely handmade. All of the carving is done by hand. The screen in the glass door is cut out with a jigsaw and then shaped with a spoke shave and file and sandpaper.
Reagan's table is often compared to a child's toy, but its true inspiration came from a variety of objects.
Most people don't know what to do with it because it's so strange. It's like, what is this? Is this actually furniture or is this a gigantic toy? And a lot of the details came about after a trip through the Midwest and Michigan in particular, that beginning to think about the things that I was inspired by, like a Chris Craft boat, both the shape and color, farm implementation as you're driving through, state after state, and irrigation systems that are on a pivot, and large wheels that have sort of a knife aspect to them to plow the fields with. And so I wanted to bring maybe an aspect of New England, which in this case was sort of the parking violations that happen all the time, and sort of arresting the piece with this sort of industrial, more urban feeling object to it, so that's where the parking boot came on.
Inspiration comes easy when you visit Fearless Furniture. You may find yourself with a new appreciation for some of the pieces in your own home.
A friend of mine said one time is that she wanted her work to be the best garage sale find that you could ever have in your life, and I haven't sort of stolen that idea, but there's something to be said for that, like finding an object and wow, making a connection with it, and it's a table.
Our whole world is made. It's even philosophically speaking, there's just a universe to explore, and I think that our everyday lives, in so many ways, we take so much of our everyday lives for granted, and the more you look into how things are made and the people who make them, the richer your every moment becomes.
Still ahead, a story about people who lived in glass houses and who threw some artistic stones that shocked the world.